Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the May 15th meeting of the Town of Barnstable Licensing Authority. With me to my right is Mr. Larry Decker, Ms. Nancy Carlson-Lidman, and Mr. John Flores. We also have with us Mr. David Anthony, who is the Town Director of Insurance and Asset Coordination, and our Interim Deputy Director of Asset Management and Licensing, Erin Logan. With respect to the minutes of the last meeting, I'd entertain a motion.
What was the date?
Chair, if I can just clarify, those are the minutes of April 10th.
April 10th, yeah. I make a motion we accept, to accept the minutes of April 10th, 2023.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. The first matter I'd like to take today is a special one-day entertainment license and temporary extension of premises, filed by Elizabeth Wolfbane of the Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District to host the annual Long Table event on Main Street on Monday, June 26, from 5 to 9 p.m. with a rain date of June 27. This will include live amplified music, and the licensee proposes to serve food and alcohol and are requesting a temporary extension of premises as a part of this event for the Naked Oyster, the West End Pizza Barbone, Torino Restaurant and Bar, Colombo's Cafe and Pastries, Tap City Grill, Embargo, Anejo, and Alberto's Restaurante. I saw Ms. Wolfbane here. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Elizabeth Wolfbane here. So thank you for inviting us for the Long Table. It is our 6th Long Table event. We used to do them in the former Anejo Beach Tree Alley, where there were about 200, 225 people. And 3 years ago, we did on Main Street, Hyannis, in front of the JFK Museum, closing down the street with about 600 people. Following kind of a long table, it seems to be a paradigm around the country of an event with a lot of people in one long table breaking bread together, and becomes a really joyous event. So, do you have questions?
And you know you're going to have to maintain a fire lane.
Yes, we do. We are dealing with David Webb from the fire department, as we did 3 years ago, and we had a 14-foot fire lane.
And you'll have 2 police details.
The police have organized to have details themselves at the event.
Does anybody have any questions?
And are you expecting the same 600 people?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same. with no
The
change.
exact same people in the same spot.
I hope so.
That would be wonderful.
600 different people.
600 different people. Well, what would be wonderful is that you bring in more new faces and more people seeing, what there is to offer in the downtown, as we have 50 restaurants and really every kind of cuisine from around the world. So that's really the kind of genesis of why we do it, is to create the public relations piece that this is the food district of Cape Cod. So hopefully there'll be new faces coming in, which is wonderful. About the tickets are about half sold right already.
So far it's about 300?
So far about 300.
Okay.
Now, Liz, each restaurant sells its own tickets, correct?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, hyannismainstreet.com. We have a landing page, and that leads you to all the different menus with the prices and a phone number to call. So each restaurant would be selling those tickets or reserving the spaces.
Does every restaurant get the same amount of tickets to sell?
Well, it's not really tickets, it's seats, but they can expand them if they like. We start with 40 per restaurant. That's the minimum, and the maximum will be about 80. So within that, whatever they're comfortable with serving, that they can, accommodate, because it's quite a big process to kind of cater on the street.
Is there still the competition to see who decorates the best?
Yes, so thank you. Yeah, and so 3/4 of the way through the event, we take the social media votes and the judge votes, and we have first, second, third place, and special mention for the people's choice, because we also invite people that aren't at the event to come and see it, because it is a spectacle. I mean, it's quite pretty and it's wonderful to see right from a distance. And you can vote if you're in the public and walk around. And we'll have an information table because, again, this isn't about making money. It really isn't. It's all about the public relations for the downtown, elevating Main Street Hyannis, as we know, with sometimes the way people think of downtown Hyannis, we want them to think of the lovely lights, Jung Ho Pak is my co-host, the restaurants, the cuisine, the energy that goes into the food is like an art form when you think about it. So all of those pieces.
I've been a number of times. It's a terrific event.
Thank you.
Absolutely terrific.
Yeah, you'll come back.
I will.
I have one more question. It says here that you're having 4 to 5 crowd control managers. Is that like one person per restaurant, or is that something that comes from your group?
So the police department has offered, to have extra patrol on, as well as the fire department will have on-site officers. What do they call fire department officers, I guess? And we have a staff of 6 people that will be on site, and each restaurant will have their manager on site and the owner. So I think between all of that, we have quite a lot of crowd control.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, may I, for the record?
Yes, ma'am.
I've been communicating with Officer Kelsey. He is on his way. He just wanted me to be sure that it's understood that we need 4 to 5 crowd control trained individuals on site. And that is an online course that you can take, anybody can take if they'd like to. And then he just wants to make sure that you consult with the traffic division on road closures.
Yes, and we have, thank you. And we'll look into the crowd control piece.
Does anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the special one-day entertainment license and temporary extension of premises, with the application has been filed by Elizabeth Wolfbane of the Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District to host the Long Table event on Main Street in Hyannis on Monday, June 26, 2023, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. with a rain date of 6/27. The event is to include amplified music, and they're also requesting a temporary extension of the premises for those items that are, for those restaurants that are listed. And I make a motion to accept based on the approval that there would be a 4 to 5 crowd control managers on site and a minimum of 2 police details. I make a motion to accept.
And I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Don't go far, because you have also filed an application for the beginning of First Fridays on Main Street, beginning June 2nd, July 7, August 4, September 1, October 6, November 3rd, and chilly day of December 1. They will include cinema screenings by the Hyannis Film Festival, live and non-live and amplified music, pickleball, and art installations. Requesting a temporary extension of premises for flashbacks to have a proposed beer garden, a sip and shop beer and wine offered by Seaporium at 645 Main Street, Harley Davidson at 615 Main Street, Country Soul 605 Main Street, Jewel Craft at 585 Main Street, Soft as a Grape at 555 Main Street, 606 Thrift at 606 Main Street, Bella Chris at 584 Main Street, Bumbleina at 592 Main Street, Moonshine Leather at 578 Main Street, Allium at 558 Main Street, Mrs. M's Summer House at 550 Main Street, Silver Seahorse at 382 Main Street, Love Live Local, 539 Main Street, Soho Arts, 342 Main Street, Cape Cod Jewelers at 366 Main Street, and Mrs. Mitchell's at 362 Main Street, Chez Anton Cafe at 357 Main Street, Redfish Bluefish at 374 Main Street, and tell us about those fun events.
Thank you. So the First Fridays, again, is a model after an event that's going around the country to try to encourage people to shop, basically, and also to experience the downtown in a different way. You have so many ways that nowadays we have to keep redefining the shopping experience to make it exciting with all of the challenges that you can see in the marketplace. That we've added this piece looking at Fredericksburg, Virginia. They have a nice historical downtown, and they have a First Fridays, for instance, and we've collaborated with them to mirror what they have as much as possible. They have a little different setup because their ABCC is a little different in Virginia than it is in Massachusetts, as we can imagine. But so this sip and shop experience is something new. It's the idea of the, going to the art gallery, and you have the wine and cheese, and the experience of all of that makes people, more excited on a Friday at 5 to feel like, oh, I'm going to the downtown. Let's go and shop, and let's see some cute things that are artistic and in boutiques, and go to different places. So we have a trolley, which is a trolley that runs on Friday nights, going through the downtown. And we also have different experiences, like the sip and shops with all the different shops. And most of those are boutique-style places. And we'll also do some pop-up artists in these shops to add to the experience, to really enrich, elevate Main Street to another level. We have a few beer gardens. One will be down by Flashbacks with some videos that are curated by the Hyannis Film Festival, showcasing basically different elements about local kind of small movies that have won little awards, kind of being cute and interesting with some craft beer there and cool chairs, kind of an atmosphere. Same with the High School Road extension. The pickleball would be in there, as well as a man with games with the cornhole toss, things like that to add again to the experience. Because if you really think in your mind of places that are very successful, like Derby Street and, in downtown Boston, they always kind of have that element of cool games like curling in the winter, et cetera. So we want to be up on that level, knowing that WS Development's coming in and they're probably going to have an ice rink, right, and the Village Green kind of thing. We have to step up our game and be much more the experience. So that's really kind of the nutshell why and what it is. It's really a shopping and experience of the downtown between 5 and 8 on the first Fridays for 7 months, leading into December, which is very brave of us because usually everything shuts down, right, the minute the temperature goes under 45, and we want to get all the way into that holiday weekend and add a Friday night feature to our stroll, again, making it a weekend destination. So we have a big marketing kind of reasoning for all of this.
This is going to be Hyannis Open Streets on Fridays, right?
Yeah, well, a little bit, but for adults too, for the whole family, and but yeah, and a little more of the shopping piece, but a variation of that to really bring up the downtown in people's minds and have them be used to coming at a certain time of the month, remember the Thursdays in the olden days, there was kind of a tradition, go to Main Street and it's this family-friendly fun, and that's what Open Streets picked up. And with this, we want to kind of go in the shops and have fun and do a little bit more in depth. So the street isn't going to be the feature, the inside of the places will be the feature, and try to get maybe that 30-year-old set to come to Main Street and be like, that was cool.
So the street won't be closed.
Nope, it'll be open.
What's the time frame?
5 to 8.
Any other questions? Seeing none. Anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? Seeing none. Mr. Decker?
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the special one-day beer and wine and entertainment licenses, with the application filed by Elizabeth Wolfbane of the Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District to host the first Fridays on Main Street, Hyannis, on Friday, at various times through the rest of the year. I make a motion to accept based on the idea that there will be 4 to 5 crowd control managers on site and 2 police details. I make a motion to accept.
And I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It will be enjoyable. The next matter is a forfeiture of a Class II auto dealer license by Cape Cod Used Cars, Inc., DBA Cape Cod Auto Sales, 155 Rosary Lane, Hyannis. Is anybody? So just so I take that, and then to amend a Class dealer license by 50 Airport Road LLC, is that the same thing?
Yes, it
All
is.
right. So it's an application filed by 50 Airport LLC, DBA 50 Airport LLC, 50 Airport Road, Hyannis, to amend the corporation to read Cape Cod Used Cars, Inc., DBA Caro Snow Cape Auto Sales.
Correct.
All right, so you're just forfeiting that license and picking up another.
Exactly.
That's, all right,
So which one are we taking here?
it's both of them.
All right.
Anybody have any questions? No?
Yeah, the only question I had was 50 Airport Road, in the agenda here, it says it's an LLC, but then it refers to it as a corporation.
No, 50 Airport, it is LLC.
It's an LLC?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Anyone from the public wish to speak to this? Seeing none?
All right, Mr. Chairman, with regard to the application filed by Cape Cod Used Cars, Inc., DBA Cape Cod Auto Sales, 155 Rosary Lane, Hyannis, to forfeit the Class II auto dealer license, I make a motion to accept.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That passes.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to amending the Class II auto dealer license, a change of corporation and DBA, the application filed by 50 Airport LLC, DBA 50 Airport LLC, 50 Airport Road, Hyannis, to amend the corporation to read Cape Cod Used Cars, Inc., DBA Caros No Cape Auto Sales, I make a motion to accept.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck, sir. The next application is an application by JME Taylor, DBA at the Barnacle, 988 Craigville Beach Road, Centerville, for a new seasonal common victual license with 37 seats. It'd be food service only, no alcohol. And do we have some?
Good
Hello.
morning,
Good morning.
Mary Ann Taylor.
Good morning, Mary Ann.
Good morning.
You ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right. Clams are in?
Yes. They will be if I get this license.
All right. And anybody have any questions?
This is Tony Ninavagi's place?
It used to be.
Used to be.
Yes.
So, okay,
Yes.
Don't go there.
just checking.
So you're the new owner,
Yes, sir.
and no alcohol is to be served.
No alcohol,
Any questions?
unless you allow it.
Unless you file for it. Anybody here wish to speak to this application? Seeing none, Mr. Decker?
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the new seasonal common victor license, the application filed by JME Taylor, DBA The Barnacle, 988 Craigville Beach Road, Centerville, for a new seasonal common victor license with 37 seats, I make a motion to accept.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck. Get those
Thank you.
clams. Start
Thank you very
digging.
much. Thank you.
Good luck.
The next is an application filed by Dinner with Durham LLC, DBA Bites at Craigville, 974 Craigville Beach Road, Centerville, for a new seasonal common victual license with 20 seats, no alcohol.
Good morning,
Morning,
Rich
sir.
Dermody.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Tell us about your venture.
Well, it's used to be Tony's Pizzeria, which is right beside the Barnacle, right beside Mary Ann's place.
Okay.
We were new owners, and we're changing a few things around just as far as the menu. As far as the way it's been run for the last few years, we're trying to keep the same as far as common vics and number of seats and all that stuff.
You're tip certified?
I don't do alcohol.
We don't
I
do-
have serve safe
No
and
alcohol, right,
allergens and
okay.
stuff like that.
So this is where the Barnacle 2 used to be.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the new season common victor license, with the, the application filed by Dinner with Durham LLC, DBA Bites at Craigville, 974 Craigville Beach Road, Centerville, for a new seasonal common victor license with 20 seats. I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Application by Riverway Lobster House, Inc., DBA West Beach Club, 9 Dale Avenue, Hyannisport, for a new seasonal common victual license with 48 seats, no alcohol.
Morning,
Morning. You are?
Jason Cisco.
Oh, Jason? Tell us what you're going to do there.
I'm going to run the snack bar for West Beach Club for about 9 weeks every year.
Does anybody have any questions? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this? Seeing none, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to new season common victor license with the application filed by Riverway Lobster House, Inc., DBA West Beach Club, 9 Dale Avenue, Hyannisport, for a new seasonal common victor license with 48 seats, I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Great, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Here's-
An application filed by Jack Trade LLC, DBA Mariner Cafe, 282 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new common victual license to be open daily from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is formerly where the Sunnyside Restaurant was located.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And you are?
Indri.
Ingrid?
I am the property manager.
Okay. So is it going to remain a breakfast?
Well, we are changing it to a coffee shop, so we're serving, like espresso latte, pastries, and grab-to-go sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? No? Anybody from the public? Seeing none, Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to new common victor license, the application filed by Jack Trade LLC, DBA Mariner Cafe LLC, 282 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new common victor license, open daily from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. I make a motion subject to the applicant obtaining outdoor dining agreement with the town manager's office. I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Just make sure if you're going to have outdoor seating, Miss, you'll speak with Ms. Logan about that. Okay. All right, great, thank you. On a new twist, we have an application filed by Funbox, DBA Funbox, 769 Iano Road, Hyannis, for a daily non-live entertainment license, which will consist of a bounce house and recorded music in the Cape Cod Mall parking lot.
Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing? My name is Mike Bolback. We are looking to open up Funbox at the Cape Cod Mall right down the road. Actually, where the Flip Circus is right now, so we're going to be in that same parking lot. Funbox, just to give you a little bit of a background, Funbox has been around since 2018. We're the world's biggest bounce park, super family friendly. Obviously, we cater to like 3-year-olds to 12-year-olds. Parents love this as well. Pretty much any age loves our park. It's been just an incredible experience. We do it all over the country, and we're looking forward to doing it here.
So you're going to operate June 1 through August 31, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
It's actually going to be June 15th now,
Okay.
until September 3rd.
Does anybody have any questions?
So tell us a little bit about it. Is it just one bounce house?
It's actually multiple bounce houses, one massive one, so we're about 25,000 square feet. So we're going to take up a good-sized portion of that parking lot where the Flip Circus is right now. So it's one main bounce park, and then we have an obstacle course, and then 2 other small pieces. We have a toddler tent for, obviously, toddlers only, and then we have a nice seating area. We have tables and chairs. We serve snow cones, and it's a really fun environment.
So I take it, I have to ask this, but I take it you're well insured?
Of course, yeah, yeah, absolutely. But again, this is a very safe environment. Bouncy houses, you can think of it, but it's just on a bigger scale. We rarely have any injuries. We're very safe about what we do.
What happens if it gets windy?
Well, there's engineering that we have to basically calculate what type of anchoring that we need. So we do anchor the park into the asphalt, the parking lot. When it is windy, if it gets to be 30 degrees, anything 30 degrees or higher, we shut down. So we deflate the park, and we.
You mean
know,
30 miles?
Sorry.
30 miles or 30 degrees?
Oh, sorry, 30 miles an hour. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 30 miles an hour. So we would totally shut down at that point.
Just make for a more fun experience.
Same as the high.
Yeah, you don't want, especially here, you can get those gusts of wind.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, 40 to, I think, 39 miles an hour, yeah.
Okay. Officer Kelsey is here.
Have you spoken with the mall and mall security about what your safety plan is going to be, security-wise?
Yeah.
Because the mall does require that they have police details on Fridays and Saturdays, and normally when there are events in the parking lot, like the Flip Circus, like the Carnival, they are required to have police details as well.
Okay.
So that would be a concern of mine.
On Fridays and Saturdays, you're saying police detail?
I would say to mirror what the mall is already doing for their building. And then I guess we could reevaluate. I would be comfortable with making a recommendation for Friday nights and Saturday nights, say 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. So not requiring a full 8-hour detail every day, but maybe the 4-hour, which mirrors what the mall is already doing for their facility.
Sure.
And then reevaluate if needed.
Fine with that?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Any other questions, concerns? Anyone from the public? Seeing none? Mr. Decker with Officer Kelsey's consideration?
All right, so you want them to file up with the mall?
No, they can apply for a police detail directly through the police department themselves, and the recommendation would be the 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
With regard to the new annual entertainment license, the application filed by Funbox, DBA Funbox, 769 I&O Road, Hyannis, for a new daily non-live entertainment license for bounce house and recorded music at the Cape Cod Mall parking lot, which is to take place June 15th through September 1st, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I make a motion subject to the applicant filing an application with the police department for a police detail from 5 to 9 p.m. I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck.
Thanks
Bounce
so
away.
much.
Have fun.
Application by Gone Acai Hyannis, Inc., DBA Gone Acai, 561 Main Street, Hyannis, to amend the premises to include the outdoor dining area. Also proposes a new daily non-live entertainment license for 3 TVs and changing the hours from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. Morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Thank you. My name is Camila. I'm one of the owners of the Goni Açaí.
Okay, so you're going to put some tables outside in the patio area that's fenced
Yes,
in, right?
picnic tables
Okay. And the TVs will be inside?
inside. I have the TVs just with the menu.
Oh, all right. All right. Anybody have any questions? Gone acai for dessert after your dinner? Anybody from the public? Seeing none? Mr. Decker?
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the annual common victor, to amend the premise description and add daily non-live entertainment, the application filed by Gone C. Hyannis, Inc., DBA Gone C., 561 Main Street, Hyannis, to amend the premise description to include outdoor dining, and also propose a new daily non-live entertainment license for 3 TVs and change the hours from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. The next application is filed by Yasvason Corp., DBA Craigville Package Store, 2940 2946 Falmouth Road, Osterville, to transfer the all-alcohol package store license from Black Marlin Beverage Corp., DBA Craigville Package Store, to Yasvasan Corp., DBA Craigville Package Store. The proposed manager is Hina Patel. The transfer includes a pledge of inventory and collateral. Is anyone here from that?
Yes. Good morning. Thank you. My name is Matthew Porter. I'm an attorney of Viera and John Filippo. I'm the attorney for Yasvasan Corp. Along with me today is Michelle Shukla. Mr. Shukla is the president and one of the principals of the corporation. And also with us is Rakesh Patel and Hina Patel, who are the other two principals. Hina Patel is the proposed license manager. Before the board is the transfer of the all-alcohol license for Craigville Package Store. This is a very experienced ownership group. All three of the principals here with us today are Cape Cod residents. They're local. They own other stores on the Cape. They certainly understand the rules and responsibilities that come along with operating a package store. Everybody is alcohol tip certified. They will be installing a scanning machine in place for the proper safeguards there. But they operate very successful, responsible stores throughout the Cape. I'm certainly excited to get started here. There is no major changes to the business whatsoever, no changes to the hours, no changes to the structure. We've secured a long-term lease with the landlord who's here with us. It's been a very smooth transaction with the seller. Their attorney, Mark, is here today as well. There is a pledge of license going back to the seller, so the seller is financing the transaction. So as a result of that, we're also requesting a pledge of that license going back to Black Marlin Beverage Corp., who's financing it. So with that, I can certainly answer any questions that you may have, and Mr. Shukla can as well.
Any questions? No. Officer Kelsey? No.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the transfer of all alcohol package store license, the application filed by Yasvasan Corporation, DBA Craigville Package Store, 2946 Falmouth Road, Osterville, to transfer the all-alcohol package store license from Black Marlin Beverage Corp., DBA Craigville Package Store, to Yasvasan Corp., DBA Craigville Package Store, with the proposed manager, Helena Patel, and the transfer to include a pledge of inventory and a pledge of collateral. I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
The next is an application by Hyannis Cappies, Inc., DBA Cappies Fine Wine and Spirits, 333 Iano Road, Hyannis, to transfer the all-alcohol package store license from Hyannis Wine and Spirits, DBA Cappies Fine Wine and Spirits, to Hyannis Cappies, Inc., DBA Cappies Fine Wine and Spirits. The proposed manager is Sunil Kumar Patel. Transfer to include a pledge of inventory and collateral.
Good morning, Attorney John Moradian, Democus Law Offices, 56 Central Ave in Lynn, Mass. I'm here on behalf of Hyannis Cappies, Inc., and we're requesting today a transfer of the all-alcohol package store license currently issued to Hyannis Wine and Spirits, Inc. This is a transfer of the license at the same location at 333, I'm going to say it wrong, Iano Road, Hyannis. There'll be no changes to the business operation. It'll be known as Cappies Fine Wine and Spirits still. Store hours will be 8 a.m. to 11, Monday through Saturday, and Sundays 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. With me is Sunil Kumar Patel. He's the proposed manager of record. He is tip certified. He does have experience with alcohol retail sales. He ran a convenience store in Quincy that served beer and wine. They're going to keep the same employees, roughly 10 to 15 employees that are currently there now. They do use an ID scanner at their stores too to prevent underage sales. And the last request is a pledge of the license, inventory, and stock to Northern Bank and Trust Company, as that bank is financing the transaction.
Any questions?
Just a question. Are you, the person we just approved for the prior is a Patel also? Is there a relationship?
There's no relation, no.
There's not. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone from the public wish to speak to this? Officer Kelsey?
Mr. Patel, are you going to be residing on Cape Cod?
He lives in Canton right now. If this goes through, there's a 6 to 8 week ABCC process till he'll be moving down here.
And that's what his intention is?
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the transfer of all alcohol package store license, Hyannis Cappies Inc., DBA Cappies Fine Wine and Spirits, 333 INO Road, Hyannis, to transfer the all alcohol package store license from Hyannis Wine and Spirits Inc., DBA Cappies Fine Wine and Spirits, to Hyannis Cappies Inc., DBA Cappies Fine Wine and Spirits, with the proposed manager of Sunakumar Patel, with the transfer to include a pledge of inventory and a pledge of collateral. I make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
The next eagerly anticipated application is by the Smith Family Beer Garden LLC, DBA Smith Family Beer Garden, 541 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new seasonal all-alcohol common victual license, daily live entertainment, and daily non-live entertainment license. Hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and the proposed manager is Daniel Smith. Mr. Boudreau.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Mark Boudreau. I'm very proud to be here representing Dan and Patrick Smith. Currently, they operate 3 popcorn retail stores in Mashpee and Plymouth and in Hyannis, and the proposal is to expand their Hyannis operation into a beer garden. You probably have with you a copy of their floor plan. Essentially, people will be entering off of Main Street, and they'll be greeted at the entrance by an individual to determine whether or not they are old enough, and they will be given a wristband. There is no waitress service at all. Everything will be done through a concession, and the food will be served through a food truck. Dan Smith will be the manager. He is tip certified, and he and his brother and the chef are all crowd manager certified as well. There will be no indoor seating. However, there will be seating indoors for standing. The proposed seating is 50 inside. Outside would be 66 seated and 150 standing. The menu would be based around Bavarian soft pretzels, but they would include the pretzel itself and then pretzel stuffed with meatballs and steak and cheese. Very hearty food. I have my clients here if you have any questions for them. They are very experienced in the retail business, and I think this is going to be quite the addition to Main Street.
I want to see you get meatballs into pretzels.
That's a trick.
Does that?
This is seasonal, correct?
This is seasonal, yes, April 1st to January 15th. There will be 3 bathrooms provided inside, one for men, one for women, and a larger one for families and handicapped accessible as well. If you're familiar with a restaurant called Off the Grid in Sandwich, it is similar to that, except there is no bar. There are no bar seats. So in essence, the food would be picked up at the food truck. The beverages would be served by a bartender, and then people would seat themselves.
And it's only outdoor seating?
It is only outdoor seating. There is standing room inside. There is a game room near where the bathrooms are, which would have a pool table and foosball.
And inside where it's labeled retail area?
Currently, they have a retail area for their popcorn, which is adjacent to the courtyard, and that would continue. Eventually, they hope to do retail sales of local products.
Anyone have any questions? Mr. Anthony.
Good morning.
Morning.
In regards to the food truck,
Yes.
is that operated by you and owned by you, or is that going to be rotated in from outside?
That's going to be operated by my clients. In essence, as a company, I think they're in the Carolinas, and they take older trucks and they wrap them in a beautiful fashion, and they're at least technically operational. This truck has been purchased, and it is in Falmouth right now, and my clients are just waiting for the registration to drive it to Hyannis. But in essence, once it's there, it's there.
And it'll be located on private property, not in the public right-of-way?
That's correct.
Thank you.
As of this writing, there are documents due to, at the building department, is that correct? You have to get subject to that, right? Yep. Okay.
Anyone else have any questions?
How many pool tables?
There's one pool table.
Just one.
With regard to the entertainment, we're looking for non-live amplified music, and then up to 3 people. Most likely it would be an individual with a guitar.
And you'd be aware of the sound emanating regulations as
Yes.
well? Right. Anybody from the public wish to speak to this? Seeing none, Mr. Decker?
I have one question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Officer Gilson. Got a wave.
Does Mr. Smith have any experience in operating an alcohol establishment?
Yes, my experience, so I've been a busser, a waiter, bar back over at New Seabury. I worked at the Papaneset Inn. I worked at their country club as well. I've also worked at Loose Liquors as a cashier and checking IDs and things like that. Most recently, I'm an architect. I have a master's degree in architecture, was an architect in Boston for about 6 years, and then moved back down to the Cape to start the popcorn business. And then this business is really just kind of like a sister company to that.
So I guess that's where the design for the deck that I see getting put in came from?
That's it. So, yeah, so that whole like mysterious walkway.
He's even out there digging.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Seriously, I'm going to change out of this into my work boots pretty soon. Yeah, it's a boardwalk that we're kind of styling behind, like the Sandwich Boardwalk. So it's going to have planks, and we want the community to purchase planks, and we're going to carve names into it and things like that too. So the whole style of this place is really supposed to be community-driven, family-friendly, just a place for people to come and hang out and be outside, and locals and tourists together, really.
And you make sure all your servers are tip certified.
Yep.
As well.
Yep. Exactly.
Mr. Anthony.
I know you've gone through, I'm sure you've gone through site plan review, but I know that public access on Pine Avenue, there's a sidewalk, and there had been some concern about encroachment of the bushes into that, meaning that it was a restricted area.
Okay.
I don't know if it's possible or if it's in your plans to either remove them at some point or cut them back in such a way, just so that we don't encroach on the sidewalk.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes total sense. That hasn't come up. I have a site plan review scheduled for the 23rd. I've already been to one as well. It didn't come up in our first one, but totally fine. There is a sidewalk. It's a pretty narrow sidewalk, and yeah, those hedges could probably use trimming on that side. We've trimmed our side, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, in terms of access from the back parking lot, how's that working?
Yeah, so the back parking lot's really just employee parking, and that's going to be, really, we have a scissor gate that'll close up every night. It'll be pretty much closed for.
So no one will be able to come in the back.
No, there's no. Yeah, there's
The only
really.
entrance be Main Street.
Yep, exactly.
Officer Kelsey, did you have another?
No, that was my only question.
Okay. Anybody else? Anyone from the public wish to speak to this application? Mr. Decker.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to the new seasonal all-alcohol daily live and daily non-live entertainment license with the application filed by the Smith Family Beer Garden LLC, DBA Smith Family Beer Garden, 541 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new seasonal all-common vicular daily live entertainment and daily non-live entertainment license with the requested hours of operation from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily with the proposed manager of Daniel Smith. I make a motion to accept, subject to the satisfying all site plan requirements.
And I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll jump back to number one, which is an annual, a continued show cause hearing for an annual Class 2 auto dealer license for J&J Auto, 381 Camp Street, Hyannis, for the following violations of the Town of Barnstable, Massachusetts Code 501-5B. License holders are required to attend any and all mandatory meetings held by the licensing division or any Town of Barnstable division as related to the business operation. 509-2C, sign is required on the property, whether freestanding or displayed in the door or window listing the name of the business and hours of operation. 509-4C, total vehicle count shall include the numbers of displayed unregistered vehicles, customer vehicles, including spaces for handicap accessibility and employee vehicles. The plan shall be approved by the building commissioner and fire department. This shall apply to all new, transferred, or amended license applications. 509-4E, motor vehicles for sale or lease may not be displayed less than 10 feet from the property line. 509-5E, expansion of that portion of the premises occupied by the licensee to be designated or devoted to the licensed activity beyond the boundaries designated and highlighted in the plan submitted with the application. This was previously scheduled in March, and the representative owner did not appear, resulting in a show cause hearing for April 10, where a representative did appear, but we asked the owners to come in. Hi, could you state your names, please?
Jay Imad, owner of J&J Auto.
Mr. Mudd, so you've had some discussions with regard to these violations?
We addressed all of it, I believe.
Officer Kelsey?
To sort of recap and go with a brief history, as you stated, this has been going on for some time now, with several different visits and several different conversations with Jay himself, and then obviously with his representative who came to this authority. As of right now, and the last check was last week, the vehicles for sale on display are in compliance. Until the last meeting, the business had continued to be out of compliance with vehicle sales, with signage, and also the inventory book that they kept. There were 2 visits there. After the first visit, they said that they were going to take care of it, and they had not. After the second visit, they said they were going to take care of it, and the signage was taken care of temporarily with a new sign to be posted as soon as it came in, but the vehicles were still out of compliance as well. As of the date of the show cause hearing where the representative showed up, on that date they were still out of compliance. It was soon after, and I'm talking within 24 hours after that meeting, that I started noticing that the property had come into compliance, and it has stayed into compliance the 2 or 3 times that I've driven by to actually put eyes on it.
Does anybody have any questions? All right, see none. Anyone from the public? No. All right, so it's pretty simple if you follow the directions that Officer Kelsey has given you and the regulations that I assume you have from the town. It's just we need to protect the consumers in these events, and I hope you can understand that. So if you stay in compliance, I guess that would be good. Do you have any recommendations?
I do have a concern. I'm very happy that after the last meeting, the business has come into compliance, but it took months. And I think that that is unacceptable. We have to be consistent. I have to be consistent, I should say, with how I do my job to protect the rules and the regulations of the town. And I think to show that, hey, you know what? I had a compliance check. I was asked to do this to fall within the rules, and I'm just going to ignore that for months at a time. I think that causes a problem. I do think that there should be some sort of decision on this. If you're asking me for a recommendation, I would recommend a one-day suspension held in abeyance for a year.
Does anybody have any questions? Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Just a question, the recommendation again?
One-day suspension of license held in abeyance for 1 year.
In other words, you won't have to serve any suspension unless you come back here again and violate these.
Sort of like a
provisions.
suspended sentence.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
So we have, basically on this show cause hearing, we have 5 different articles of the law that were originally at issue. So I guess what we're saying is that we will forego these penalties of these 5 items, subject to the suspension, 1-year suspension going forward. Is that correct?
Well, I still think we need to do the findings, verdict, and then the action that you just spoke of.
Yes.
Properly.
Okay. But in follow-up to what I just mentioned, we're going to find these actions, we go through them as being not guilty at this particular stage. Is that correct?
No, you would find them guilty with a 1 day to be served, held in abeyance.
All right.
And if I just may, for the record, just clarify that that 1 day is for all charges combined, not each individual.
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, with regard to the annual Class 2 auto dealer license for J&J Auto, 381 Camp Street, Hyannis, with regard to the violations as printed, I would make a motion that all charges be found guilty.
It would be a finding that they violated those printed sections of the code.
That would be a finding that they're found guilty of those charges,
Well, let's just, that they violated them first.
that they violated them first.
Okay, everybody, and motion for the findings? You accept the findings? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, the verdict would be guilty as to all of the charges. All in favor?
Aye.
And your proposed sentence?
1 day suspension held in abeyance for 1 year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So,
May I ask,
sure.
is that day to be determined by the,
Well, I think
This board?
it'll be pending a further violation.
okay.
So if you violate this again, you're going to serve 1 day. You're probably going to be back here, obviously, because of that. And that does not foreclose further or increase penalties whatsoever. So I would maintain contact with Officer Kelsey and understand any regulations that you have questions about. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And next time, when someone asks you to come to a meeting, you come to a meeting, okay? Thank you. All right, I think that takes care of the agenda, except for the discussion with regard to the Massachusetts Military Support Foundation at DBA Gimme's Tavern at 1800 Iano Road for temporary service area.
There's a consent agenda, too.
You got the consent agenda.
Oh.
I see the airport manager here.
Well, I don't want to do the consent agenda because they're not here to tell me about the cigars and whiskey.
Yes, she is.
She's right here.
She's right here.
Oh, you are?
She's right there.
All right, well, I'm sorry.
Hello, Brenda
Hello.
Meehan, Mass Military Support.
You're working over there at the golf course.
I'm personally not working. I'm working to get the truck going there. Yes, the paperwork I handed in, essentially, I don't know if you guys have it, of where the truck is located. They have shifted it a little bit, so it's not that exact location. And now, the only other thing is, the truck is supposed to be moved every 3 days essentially is what I'm thinking for the gray water and to fill propane tank. However, I am trying to figure something else out now because we had to build 3 steps to go up. So there's like a decking for the people to stand on because it's a little high. So now that deck is so heavy that it's going to take a lot of people to pull it back. So I'm working on getting propane delivered and gray water emptied so the truck doesn't essentially have to be moved. Now, the beer that is kept on the truck, there's a key for the back and then there's a key for the driver. Only the driver will have a key. I know you guys were concerned about the truck moving and selling alcohol while it's moving. So essentially only the driver would have the key, which is me. And for the back, there's a key for that. The only other thing I'm thinking now is that I might want to get, it's like the camera so that you can see if people come and it hooks to your phone and it's got a name and I just can't think of it. Thank you. The Ring camera, that's probably a smart idea, don't you think? I'm like, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking the Ring camera, hook it to my phone so that I can see and hear if someone's near the truck when we're closed.
That sounds like a great idea.
So,
I didn't think about that until Friday, which is why it's not hooked up yet. Because there's so many people out there that like ask a lot of questions. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what if kids come around at nighttime and get into the truck? And it's no hard alcohol. It's all canned, like beer.
okay. Is all the other food service permits and everything are in place?
So the only one I'm waiting for, they're supposed to come today, would be the fire department to sign off to show that we have 3 fire extinguishers in there in the Anzo unit. They have to come sign off on that, and then the propane tank, I believe they're supposed to be checking on too.
Okay. Officer Kelsey, any concerns with this arrangement at the present?
No, because I know that the other town agencies have been very involved, as well as Mr. Anthony.
Mr. Anthony? Enlighten us, Mr. Anthony.
This has been kind of a new venture for us. We have never had to come across something like this. We're on a temporary basis. We have to try to provide the basics for the golfing public, and I want to commend you on your creativity and trying to make sure that we continue to make the golfing experience as best we can, given the circumstances surrounding the pipe burst. We actually had a claim progress meeting on Friday, and like so many other things, it doesn't always go as planned. And we are moving forward on that front in the hopes, as you mentioned in your letter, that we are eagerly hoping to get that building put back together. That is the ultimate goal in all of this, at least from the town side. In the meantime, we're fortunate that Gimmy's is stepping up and is able to bring that food truck in, and I would encourage this authority to help the town support them any way that we can.
Okay.
I assume that we don't have to approve any beer license at this time?
Chair, if I may, just for the record and for the public's information, the Hyannis Golf Course is very unique in that their alcohol license, their covered premise is the entire golf course. So I did consult with the ABCC about this to make sure that there wasn't a requirement for an application, and there is not. So this really is just to keep you folks advised. I don't want someone else from the public to say, well, how come they got a temporary food truck and we didn't? These are extenuating circumstances, not the fault of Gimmy's at all, and their current premise description fits for this situation.
No, I understand that this is a extenuating circumstance, and we have a leasehold obligation to let you run a business, and unfortunately, we can't provide the premises, so the alternative works for everybody.
It is subject to your meeting with the fire department, correct?
Oh, yeah, they were supposed to be there. They're not there yet. I just got a text. But that's okay. I do have one other question. So it says beer, and when I was out there getting everything ready, a lot of the golfers were saying that they wanted nips, but that's more like an alcohol. so can they have nips? Like, I didn't plan on mixing anything for them, honestly, but I'm thinking they're gonna mix them with whatever else. I don't have orange juice, I'm not selling that. I'm going as basic as I can go. Essentially, it was Budweiser, and then I guess they're not gonna drink Budweiser now because of something going on.
We could talk about that offline, but you would have to do another application for an all-alcohol license. They do have an alcohol.
Timmy's has an all-alcohol license right
Yeah.
now.
Well, I'm not a nip fan.
I would be concerned, not that it falls outside of their license, but if you are going to sit there and just be selling nips, one, if you're serving alcohol from your bar, you cannot serve a closed container, you have to open that container. That part does fall within the law. The second part is you're not being able to control what's being poured, whereas if you're running the bar, your bartender is responsible for being in control of how much alcohol is being served to that person. If you sell somebody one nip or a sleeve of nips, you don't know where that alcohol is being consumed and how much of it is being consumed by each person. So while you can sell harder alcohol within the scope of your license, I think that you are setting yourself up for some challenges down the road should you decide to sell nips.
No nips.
Okay.
Works for me.
I would.
I just want, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to go back, and they're going to be like, you didn't ask for this, and I just want to know, nope, they said no.
Give them
Clean and easy, I'm
5-hour
good.
energy.
Yeah.
I've got that. Perfect.
Tell them it's too much complication to do what they want.
That's, honestly, I just want to be as easy as possible, and
Unless you're going to mix the drinks and serve them in
We are not.
containers. So that's
Nope.
it. Yep.
zero, no, just cans.
Most guys will bring them in.
I
their
look
own
forward
bag.
to it.
Yeah.
That's what will happen. Most guys will bring them in their own bag anyway.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Luck.
All right, so for my much anticipated flights on the festivities on the flight line, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting for so long.
Good morning, Katie Service, Cape Cod Gateway Airport. I know this is a consent item on your agenda, but I like to be here so that people are aware of what another town entity is doing to draw people into the airport and to see if you had any questions about this particular event.
I do.
Okay.
What is it and when?
And when can you sign
So
up?
the event is part of our community series. We have a Cape Cod Gateway Airport Community Event Series. We have a number of a series that we've settled on throughout the year. So for instance, in March, we had a Scout sleepover where it was a night in the terminal where Scouts got to sleep over in the terminal. It was all about aviation education. So we like to do a little bit of, it's like a little bit of fun, a little bit of rock and roll. So we like to do a little bit of aviation education and a little bit of fun just to get people out to the airport used to coming into the facility. So this event occurs, festivities on the flight line, it occurs this June on the 8th with a rain date on the 15th. It is an event that occurs outdoors on the ramp. We have the ramp surrounded by static aircraft display. We're working with some of our tenants to bring aircraft over to that space. The space itself, the decorations, will be provided by Ethan Allen here in Hyannis. They will be setting the space, so they'll put couches and plants and make it look really quite cozy. They're also bringing their mobile design unit, so if people are so inclined to design their she shed or their he shed, they could do that while they're at the event. Food, drinks, etc., that is all being provided by Island Cafe and Grill. They're the ones who put in the permit. They're handling all of that. They'll have tip certified personnel who will be with them for the event. We're just supplying the venue, the location for the event, as well as music for the event. And we have a guitarist that's coming in.
What about this? You left out the most important part.
The cigar and
cigars.
whiskeys.
Yeah.
So we will have 3 cigars that will be offered by Cape Cod Cigar, and they will be paired with 3 different types of whiskeys that Island Grill is bringing in. For that, one of the cigars will be a takeaway cigar for you to take home. The other 2 will be to pair with those particular whiskeys that will be offered. It's a fun event. It's we had a great time last May. We did it. We're doing it in June this year, hoping it will be a little bit warmer. Ethan Allen is providing blankets in case it is not. Any questions?
Is this an enclosed area that's cordoned off by itself?
It will be. So we will have stanchions that will be put up so that we're closing off. What we're doing is closing the baggage claim area. And then the outdoor space will be closed off by stanchions, and we'll have signs that say no alcohol beyond this point. You know, and we'll have our staff there as well. We don't want anybody going out onto the apron, into the movement areas. So it will definitely be cornered into an area. There'll be one access point from the building, and then, of course, we will have access outside on the airfield.
Officer Kelsey?
The only question I have is historically with all town properties that serve alcohol, we've made the recommendation for a police detail during the service time of alcohol. So I would just throw that out there, but other than that, it sounds like a great event.
Great. We'll make sure we have a detail. Thank you.
I have just some bad news that I hope it rains on the 8th so I can be there on the 15th.
I have the same dilemma.
Yeah, see?
Having, two things, Mr. Chairman. I did attend that last year, and it was a terrific event, well-controlled, really good attendance, but I'm going to recuse myself from this vote because I happen to be Vice President of the Airport Commission.
Well, that's okay. Mrs. Service is running a fantastic entity over there.
Thank you.
Except that they fly over my house
I'm sorry.
very early.
That's a whole other issue.
All right, with respect to the
That's
consent agenda.
That's a different committee.
Yeah.
The noise committee, and then we have one.
With respect to the consent agenda, Mr. Decker, we'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as printed.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much for coming in. I'm sorry to have
No worries. Thank
put
you.
that to the back.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Katie.
All right. And do we have any other business that we need to discuss? Because I've shuffled my sheets around.
Licensing and Police Department.
Anything from the police department of unusual nature? Looks like you're going to encounter a very interesting summer with a beer garden and a bouncy house and
It's going to make for an interesting summer. I think there's some interesting and creative ideas that are coming to our community, which could be really cool. It's stuff that we haven't done here before. I think we've all seen different things in different communities, and it's interesting that people throughout our town are actually starting to bring some of that here. It does create challenges for both police, fire, I mean, and every other town entity that's involved. But it's our responsibility to work with them and try to make them happen in a safe manner if possible. And sometimes we might have to say, yeah, just it's not a good idea, no.
no, understood. Yeah. Okay. Anything from licensing?
I think the only thing worth mentioning was that we had sent out a reminder to all the folks that have applied in the past for special one days, letting them know that there is no longer retroactive approvals. Communications was great and sent out a press release to the same effect, which was successful because I already had a few people saying, oh my goodness, so glad I saw this because I would have missed the deadline. So I think that's probably the biggest update. The change in the materials now are coming through Laserfiche. Those materials will be available for public consumption. They used to not be because of the sensitivity of the materials, but I have worked with the legal department, and you will see that your materials are significantly pared down to what is pertinent. And I guess with that being said, if there's documentation that you would like to look at, arrangements could be made. So if you need more than what you're getting, it just won't be sent through private computers. And I think that's it for licensing.
Aaron, who's holding the meeting this morning?
Myself, Officer Kelsey, and Investigator Binyenda. He actually has a little bit of a time constraint, so he's going to start the meeting off at 11:30, and then myself and Officer Kelsey will, it's the similar PowerPoint that we did last year, except this year off-premise license holders are invited as well. Right now, we have over 70 RSVPs, so we're expecting a full room in about an hour. So hopefully it will be successful. Yeah.
And just for the public, the meeting that we're speaking of is the annual alcohol meeting for licensed alcohol license holders in the town of Barnstable.
Mr. Chairman, is there a reason we don't require attendance?
We did that in the past, and it met with some resistance for people who had been license holders without violations for, in some cases, decades. So we just went to a voluntary situation. It seems to have worked so far.
So I did put in the posting that it was mandatory, kind of as a little nudge to get people to come. Certainly, I had phone calls from folks that had vacation plans and understood. And for the record, the meeting is going to be recorded by Channel 18 and will be posted to our website. So anyone who couldn't make it can look at it later. If they have questions, they can always reach out, and I'm happy to help.
Yeah, and I guess it should go without saying that if you don't attend the meeting and later claim ignorance of the regulations, it will not be an excuse that I would think is a valid excuse.
Aaron, I know that this past time, you've tried to get the program, the agenda out earlier to us. Is that something you're going to strive for? I think it's very beneficial, by the way.
My goal really is to have it to you on Monday. This particular agenda morphed into much larger than what I had originally anticipated.
I'm sure.
But it really is my goal to have it to you a full week prior to. That gives you time to look at it again. If you look at an ABCC application, there's a pretty long checklist of what the ABCC requires. Those additional documents will not be sent to you, in large part because of the sensitivity of what's included in those documents. But again, we can make arrangements for you to view them if you feel necessary. But you'll get the basic application. Much of the information that is sensitive is redacted. Where was I going with this? But yes, my goal is to have the Monday before so that you can review it and reach out if you have questions in the meantime.
Yeah, thank you. That's very helpful. At least for me, it gives a chance to take a ride by where some of the places are that if you're sitting here trying to recall where it is, it doesn't always work.
Yeah. I will say that if you haven't gone online to look at the application, it's a worthwhile event because it is, for these licensees, a lot more work than you probably think it is, and compendium of exhibits that have to go with it is voluminous. But it's all much, much more streamlined now with the online effort that Ms. Logan has corralled for the public, because it's, before that, when you're filling them out individually by hand, it was quite a pile of work. So, all right, and our next meeting is?
June 12th.
June 12th. So I will take a motion and continue you till June 12th.
Motion to adjourn to June 12th.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.